Hello, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Oh no, you'd think I'd go look in the mirror before I did this. I always get in front of the camera and think, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you bump your head? I'm sorry. Oh, did you get a bump? Yeah, you'd think that I would consider that I'm sitting in front of a camera and I look terrible, but no, I'm too busy to worry about such stupid things as how I look. Oh, goodness. Oh, what is that? Oh my goodness. Oh, hi. Say hi. Look, go like this. Guriki, guriki. It's his new thing lately. He does his hands. Yeah, guriki, guriki. You're so silly. You're so silly. Here, should we show off some of our stuff? What did you have for dinner? Just for fun. We had, I did a bed of spring mix and cilantro and did hamburger patties on top. And then I did sauteed onions and mushrooms and tomatoes and cucumbers and cottage cheese. And then I did oven fries and it was so yummy. It's really good. Hamburgers without the buns. It was good. And then I'll show off a few things that I made. Start with this necklace. I've got quite a few of these. I like these long, like the rectangle, like if you have just a plain top, these are really, really cute. And this one, oh, you little helper, it's full of shells. See all the seashells up and down it? It's really cute. Just kind of plain, so it's a little more neutral. So that's fun. Like that one that I had has the red shells in it, so it's very, specific. But oh, okay, you're such a helper. Excuse me. This is another one with shells. But this one I kind of wanted it to look like, it was in the water. So it's a super blue sparkly and then the bright white shells. So the contrast is quite a bit more distinct. Really, really cute. Super sparkly. And then, like I said, I've done a ton of the bottles. The little bottle, I have a bunch of different shapes of these little bottle earrings, but people have just loved them. And they are real glass and everything. And then these ones have a teeny little heart confetti in them. So they look like a love potion or something. They're kind of cute. And then last one here, I need to take it. Here's another pair that have the tiny little dice charms hanging on the bottom of them. See those? So the green. So it's got the green and white earring and then the green and white dice. So they're really cute. Okay, showing off my stuff. And then we'll get started. So we are on chapter 14. I believe we did. We just did the one chapter yesterday because it was really long. And some of the chapters are long. Oops, I dropped it. Because she'll write a letter, she'll start it. And then, I just pulled this apart. My goodness. She'll start a letter and then she'll write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So she's writing a little bit every day. So sometimes they get kind of long. So I'm not sure if I'll do one or two today. We'll just see because I'd like to try to keep these not too long. Little recap. So she embarrassed herself in front of Lord Orville and the Clement Willoughby guy just kind of tortured her and wouldn't leave her alone because he likes her because she's so pretty. And then she went to another ball and embarrassed herself again. So now she's like, I never want to leave the house again. Like, this is so dumb. I'm so glad we're leaving London tomorrow. Never want to come back. This has been terrible. She's just been she's so backward, and embarrassed. So she's really grateful to be leaving. Or we shall see. Chapter 14. Evelina in continuation. Queen Anne Street, April 13th. Oh, how about, that's scary. Yeah, probably better not take the scissors. Where am I going to put these? Chuck. That worked. Okay. How much will you be surprised, my dearest sir, at the receiving another letter from London at your Evelina's writing? Don't make fun of my accent, okay? I'm trying. Tess likes it, so there. But believe me, it was not my fault. Neither is it my happiness that I am still here. Our journey has been postponed by an accident equally unexpected and disagreeable. We went last night to see the Fantoccini, where we had an infinite entertainment from the performance of a little comedy in French and Italian by puppets, so admirably managed that they both astonished and diverted us all, except the captain, who has a fixed and most prejudiced hatred of whatever is not English. When it was over, while we waited for the coach, a tall elderly woman brushed quickly past us, calling out, "Oh, what shall I do?" "Why, what would you do?" cried the captain. "Ma foi, monsieur," answered she. Sorry. "I have lost my company, and in this place I don't know nobody." There was something foreign in her accent, though it was difficult to discover whether she was in English or a Frenchwoman. She was very well dressed, and seemed so entirely at a loss what to do that Mrs. Mervyn proposed to the captain to assist her. "Assist her!" cried he. "Ay, with all my heart. Let a link boy call her a coach." There was not one to be had, and it rained very fast. "Mon Dieu!" exclaimed the stranger, "what shall become of me? Je suis à despair." I don't speak French, so I'm just making it up. So yeah, don't judge me. I don't speak French, but this is a French woman, so I'm doing the best I can. "Dear sir," cried Miss Mervyn, "pray let us take the poor lady into our coach. She's quite alone and a foreigner." "She's never the better for that," answered he. "She may be a woman of the town for anything you know." "She does not appear such," said Mrs. Mervyn, "and indeed she seems so much distressed that we shall but follow the golden rule if we carry her to her lodgings." "You are mighty fond of a new acquaintance," returned he. "But first let us know if she be going our way." Upon inquiry, we found that she lived in Oxford Road, and after some disputing, the captain, surlily and with a very bad grace, consented to admit her into his coach, though he soon convinced us that he was determined she should not be too much obliged to him, for he seemed absolutely bent upon quarrelling with her, for which strange inhospitality I can assign no other reason than that she appeared to be a foreigner. The conversation began by her telling us that she had been in England only 2 days, that the gentlemen belonging to her were Parisians and had left her to see for a hackney coach, as her own carriage was abroad, and that she had waited for them till she was quite frightened and concluded that they had lost themselves. "And pray," said the captain, "why did you go to a public place without an Englishman?" "Ma foi, sir," answered she, "because none of my acquaintance is in town." "Why then," said he, "I'll tell you what, your best way is to go out of it yourself." He's so rude. Oh, he's so rude. "Pardie, monsieur," returned she, "and so I shall, for I promise you I think the English a parcel of brutes, and I'll go back to France as fast as I can, for I would not live among none of you." "Who wants you?" cried the captain. "Do you suppose, Madam French, we have not enough of other nations to pick our pockets already? I'll warrant you there's no need for you for to put in your oar." "Pick your pockets, sir! I wish nobody wanted to pick your pockets no more than I do, and I'll promise you you'd be safe enough. But there's no nation under this sun can beat the English for ill politeness. For my part, I hate the very sight of them, and so I shall only just visit a person of quality or two of my particular acquaintance, and then I shall go back again to France." "I do," cried he, "and then go to the devil altogether, for that's the fittest voyage for the French and the quality." Oh, he's so rude. Oh my goodness. "We'll take care, however," cried the stranger with great vehemence, "not to admit none of your vulgar, unmannered English amongst us." "Oh, never fear," returned he coolly. Sorry, he's so noisy. "We shan't dispute the point with you. You and the quality may have the devil all to yourselves." Desirous of changing the subject of a conversation which now became very alarming, Miss Mervyn called out, "Oh, how slow the man drives!" "Never mind, Moll," said her father. I'll warrant you he'll dry it fast enough tomorrow when you're going to Howard Grove. Okay. He's such a handful. If there is a mess to make, he will make it. While I'm helping him, leave a like on the video. Oh, you little pumpkin. Oh my goodness. What did you do? Oh, sis, he got your whole... Oh, she can't even hear me. He got all your Harry Potter stuff. She's making the cutest little... There's a neighbor lady that lives in our apartment building. She's from Brazil. She's so dang sweet. Cutest little lady. And she gave Kayla a little model that you put together, right? You have to make every little scroll and glue everything together, and it is so dang cute. I'll show you when it's finished, but it's a Harry Potter theme, so it's like the Ollivander's wand shop, and you have to make all the little boxes, hundreds of little wands and everything. It's really cute. And then that platform 9 3/4, so it's 2 little like shop fronts. We're not done putting it together, and Caden just dumped out the box full of all the little pieces. So he's a helper. Okay. Where was I? To Howard Grove, exclaimed the stranger. Why, mon Dieu, do you know Lady Howard? Why, what if we do? Answered he. That's nothing to you. She's none of your quality, I'll promise you. Who told you that? Cried she. You don't know nothing about the matter. Besides, you're the ill-breedest person ever I see. And as to your knowing Lady Howard, I don't believe no such a thing, unless indeed you are her steward. The captain, swearing terribly, said with great fury, You would much sooner be taken for her washwoman. Her washwoman, indeed! Ha, ha, ha! Why, you hain't no eyes. Did you ever see a washwoman in such a gown as this? Besides, I'm no such mean person, for I'm as good a lady as Lady Howard, and as rich too. And besides, I'm now come to England to visit her. You may spare yourself that there trouble, said the captain. She has paupers enough about her already. Paupers, mister, no more a pauper than yourself, nor so much neither, but you are a low, dirty fellow, and I shan't stoop to take no more notice of you. Dirty fellow, exclaimed the captain, seizing both her wrists. Oh, wow. Hark you, Mrs. Frog. Whoops. Sorry. That's bad. Where was I? I lost my place. Oh, you'd best hold your tongue, for I must make bold to tell you, if you don't, that I shall make no ceremony of tipping you out of the window, and there you may lie in the mud till some of your messieurs come to help you out of it. Their increasing passion quite terrified us, and Mrs. Mervyn was beginning to remonstrate with the captain, when we were all silenced by what follows. Let me go, villain that you are. Let me go, or I'll promise you I'll get you put to prison for this usage. I'm no common person, I assure you, and ma foi, I'll go to Justice Fielding about you, for I am a person of fashion, and I'll make you know it, or my name ain't Duval. It's her grandma. The very woman that Reverend Villers has been trying to keep her away from because she's such a horrible person. Oh my goodness, he's so noisy. Sorry, he found a noisemaker. I heard no more. Amazed, frightened, and unspeakably shocked, an involuntary exclamation of "Gracious heaven!" escaped me, and, more dead than alive, I sunk into Mrs. Mervyn's arms. But let me draw a veil over a scene too cruel for a heart so compassionately tender as yours. It is sufficient that you know this supposed foreigner proved to be Madame Duval, the grandmother of your Evelina. Oh, sir, to discover so near a relation in a woman who had thus introduced herself. What would become of me were it not for you, my protector, my friend, and my refuge? My extreme concern and Mrs. Mervyn's surprise immediately betrayed me. But I will not shock you with the manner of her acknowledging me, or the bitterness, the grossness, I cannot otherwise express myself, with which she spoke of those unhappy past transactions. You little sweetie. Sorry. You have so pathetically related to me. So she's just griping about him, Mr. Villers, who's the one person who's loved her and taken care of her whole life. All the misery of a much injured parent, dear though never seen, regretted though never known, crowded so forcibly upon my memory that they rendered this interview, one only excepted, the most afflicting I can ever know. When we stopped at her lodgings, she desired me to accompany her into the house, and she said she could easily procure a room for me to sleep in. Alarmed and trembling, I turned to Mrs. Mervyn. My daughter, madam, said that sweet woman, cannot so abruptly part with her young friend. You must allow a little time to wean them from each other. Pardon me, ma'am, answered Madame Duval, who, from the time of her being known, somewhat softened her manners. Miss can't possibly be so nearly connected to this child as I am. No matter for that, cried the captain, who espoused my cause to satisfy his own pique, though an awkward apology had passed between them. She was sent to us, and so, do you see, we don't choose for to part with her. I promised to wait upon her at what time she pleased the next day, and after a short debate, she desired me to breakfast with her, and we proceeded to Queen Anne Street. What an unfortunate adventure! I could not close my eyes the whole night. 1,000 times I wished I had never left Berry Hill. However, my return thither shall be accelerated to the utmost of my power, and once more in that abode of tranquil happiness, I will suffer no temptation to allure me elsewhere. Mrs. Mervyn was so kind as to accompany me to Madame Duval's house this morning. The captain, too, offered his service, which I declined, from a fear she should suppose I meant to insult her. She frowned most terribly upon Mrs. Mervyn, but she received me with as much tenderness as I believe she is capable of feeling. Indeed, our meeting seems really to have affected her, for when overcome by the variety of emotions which the sight of her occasioned, I almost fainted in her arms. She burst into tears and said, "Let me not lose my poor daughter a second time." This unexpected humanity softened me extremely, but she very soon excited my warmest indignation. Kelissa. My warmest indignation by the ungrateful mention she made of the best of men. Kelissa. She has headphones on, so she can't hear herself. And a most generous benefactor. However, grief and anger mutually gave way to terror upon her avowing the intention of her visiting England was to make me return with her to France. This, she said, was a plan she had formed from the instant she had heard of my birth, which, she protested, did not reach her ears till I must have been 12 years of age. But Monsieur Duval, who, she declared, was the worst husband in the world, would not permit her to do anything she wished. He had been dead but 3 months, which had been employed in arranging certain affairs, that there were no more settled. Then she set off for England. She was already out of mourning, for she said nobody here could tell how long she had been a widow. So back then, when somebody died, they went into mourning, which they basically kind of not go out into society, and they would wear black and all that. And usually for a year, for a full year, they wore their mourning attire. So she only did for 3 months, so she obviously had no respect or love for her husband. She says he was terrible. He didn't let her do anything she wanted. I'm sorry. I look so awful. We went to the gym. So we're down working out, and it was cold. It was cold here. I mean, not cold. It wasn't freezing, but it was like 40 degrees. So we were going for a walk, and it got really cold. We were all wrapped up in our coats because we're used to 70 degrees. Anyway, we got back, and I just kept rushed in here and sat down, and I just look awful. I'm sorry. She must have been married very early in life. What her age is, I do not know, but she really looks to be less than 50. She dresses very gaily, paints very high, so she wears a lot of makeup, which was very uncommon in those days. Women didn't wear makeup. that anyone who wore makeup was usually considered like kind of a lady of the night. And the traces of former beauty are still very visible in her face. I know not when or how this visit would have ended had not the captain called for Mrs. Mervyn and absolutely insisted upon my attending her. He has become very suddenly so warmly my friend that I quite dread his officiousness. Mrs. Mervyn, however, whose principal study seems to be healing those wounds which her husband inflicts, appeased Madame Duval's wrath by a very polite invitation to drink tea and spend the evening here. Not without great difficulty was the captain prevailed upon to defer his journey some time longer. But what could be done? It would have been indecent for me to have quitted town the very instant I discovered that Madame Duval was in it. You're so noisy. No, so noisy. Yeah, I love you. Where, I lost my place. I just so lost my place. Oh, there it is. And to have stayed here solely under her protection. Mrs. Mervyn, thank heaven, was too kind for such a thought. That she should follow us to Howard Grove, I almost equally dreaded. It is therefore determined that we remain in London for some days, or a week, though the captain has declared that the old French hag, as he is pleased to call her, shall fare never the better for it. My only hope is to get safe to Berry Hill, where, counselled and sheltered by you, I shall have nothing more to fear. Adieu, my ever dear and most honoured sir. I shall have no happiness till I am again with you. Okay. You're so noisy. Let me see how long. Oh, it's a short one. We'll do 14. Let me move this before he knocks it down. I'm trying to find the best place in the house to do this. Okay, letter 14. Mr. Villars to Evelina. Berry Hill, April 16th. In the belief and hope that my Evelina would ere now have bid adieu to London, I had intended to have deferred writing till I heard of her return to Howard Grove. But the letter I have this moment received with intelligence of Madame Duval's arrival in England demands an immediate answer. Her journey hither equally grieves and alarms me. How much did I pity my child when I read of a discovery at once so unexpected and unwished. I have long dreaded this meeting and its consequence. To claim you seems naturally to follow acknowledging you. I am well acquainted with her disposition, and have for many years foreseen the contest which now threatens us. Cruel as are the circumstances of this affair, you must not, my love, suffer it to depress your spirits. Remember that while life is lent me, I will devote it to your service, and for the future time I will make such provision as shall seem to me most conducive to your future happiness. Secure of my protection, and relying on my tenderness, let no apprehension of Madame Duval disturb your peace. Conduct yourself towards her with all the respect and deference due to so near a relation, remembering always that the failure of duty on her part can by no means justify any neglect on yours. Indeed, the more forcibly you are struck with improprieties and misconduct in another, the greater should be your observance and diligence to avoid even the shadow of similar errors. Be careful, therefore, that no remissness of attention, no indifference of obliging, make known to her the independence I assure you of, but when she fixes the time for her leaving England, trust to me the task of refusing your attending her. Disagreeable to myself, I own it will be, yet to you it would be improper, if not impossible. He's so sweet. So he's saying, no matter how bad she is, you're a good person. You be respectful and sweet to her, treat her the way you should, even though we know she's isn't a great person. And then if she tries to make you go back to France, I'll be the one to refuse that. And it's not your job. Don't worry about it. I know it's not going to be fun for any of us, but I will take care of that. So he's so sweet. It's so cute how protective, how much he loves her and wants her to be happy. In regard to her opinion of me, I am more sorry than surprised at her determined blindness. The palliation which she feels the want of for her own conduct, leads her to seek for failings in all who were concerned in those unhappy transactions, which she has so much reason to lament. And this, as it is the cause, so we must in some measure consider it as an excuse of her inveteracy. How grateful to me are your wishes to return to Berry Hill. Your lengthened stay in London and the dissipation in which I find you are involved fill me with uneasiness. I mean not, however, that I would have you sequester yourself from the party to which you belong, since Mrs. Mervyn might thence infer a reproof which your youth and her kindness would render inexcusable. He's so noisy. I will not, therefore, enlarge upon this subject, but content myself with telling you that I shall heartily rejoice when I hear of your safe arrival at Howard Grove, for which place I hope you will be preparing at the time you receive this letter. I cannot too much thank you, my best Evelina, for the minuteness of your communications. Continue to me this indulgence, for I should be miserable if in ignorance of your proceedings. How new to you is the scene of life in which you are now engaged. Balls, plays, operas, ridottos. Ah, my child, at your return hither, how will you bear the change? My heart trembles for your future tranquillity. Yet I will hope everything from the unsullied brightness of your soul. I chucked it and it went right in the garbage. Say hi. Did you say hi? Ow! Uh-oh. What is it? How do you know it's a sticker? You trying to stick it to me? Huh? Are you a little bit smart? Hey, oh. He is a helper, I tell you. My heart trembles for your future tranquillity, yet I will hope everything from the unsullied whiteness of your soul and the native liveliness of your disposition. I am sure I need not say how much more I was pleased with the mistakes of your inexperience at the private ball than with the attempted adoption of more fashionable manners at the ridotto. But your confusion and mortifications were such as to entirely silence all reproofs on my part. I hope you will see no more of Sir Clement Willoughby, whose conversation and boldness are extremely disgustful to me. I was gratified by the good nature of Lord Orville upon your making use of his name, but I hope you will never again put it to such a trial. Heaven bless thee, my dear child, and grant that neither misfortune nor vice may ever rob thee of that gaiety of heart which, resulting from innocence, while it constitutes your own, contributes also to the felicity of all who know you. Arthur Villars. Oh, so cute. He's so sweet. Such a sweet man. If every woman had a man who loved him and protected him like that, we'd all be better off. Huh? Okay, well, that is chapter 13 and 14, so we'll pick up 15 tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by and spending a few minutes with us. I have enjoyed the reading so much, and I know that, not very many people can come on live because everybody's so busy, but then they come back and watch them later, and it's really fun, and the comments and feedback have been fun. What? Bruh. Bruh.
Bruh.
Say hi.
Guess what Kane said? Bruh.
Anyway, thanks for stopping by the Story Corner for Story Time with the Story Lady. And we'll see you next time. Good night.
Bruh. See?
That's cute.
Bruh. Bruh.